the trouble with chocolate? Chapter 9. The trouble with deciding you are definitely going to Chocolate Land and not to Mrs. Pike's baby Easter egg hunt if it makes you get the taste for chocolate even more. Do you think we could eat the box? I said, picking up my Yum Yums Easter egg box and sniffing the cardboard. I don't think so, said Gabby, but I'll tell you who would probably love to. Who? I said, watching her eyebrows jiggle towards the end of my bed. Pickle and Pops, Gabby smiled. We had been talking about chocolate for so long I had almost forgotten about Pickle and Pops. At first I thought Gabby was joking, but as soon as I thought about it, I realized she was absolutely, totally right. If hamsters can eat cardboard loo rolls in my classroom at school, then why can't they eat cardboard Easter egg boxes in my bedroom at home? It was a genius idea. Not the silver foil, though, said Gabby, as I pulled the inside top cardboard bit out of my Yum Yums egg box. Just the cardboard. Gabby was right. Giving hamsters silver foil to eat is really dangerous, especially if they're allergic to metal touched by chocolate. Here you go, Pickle. Here you go, Pops, I said, opening the door of their cage and poking the first piece of Yum Yum's box inside. Happy Easter from me and Gabby. At first, neither of them seemed interested in our Easter present. But once I'd woken them up with my finger and pushed them out of their bedding, their whiskers started twitching and everything. He's eating it, said Gabby, pressing her face to the bars and watching really closely as Pops began nibbling the cardboard I'd given him. Give Pickle his own piece too. It was such a good idea. I gave them 2 bits of Easter egg box each. In fact, when they both started chewing, I decided to undo the clips at the sides of their cage, lift the roof right off, and give them a whole empty Easter egg box each. Let's give them a cardboard city to nibble through, I said, putting the roof back on and then doing up the clips. The chocolate button box is a skyscraper, and the Yum Yums box is a cinema, laughed Gabby. Pickle and Pops must have been so pleased with their new Easter presents. Not only could they chew them, they could crawl in and out of them, push them around with their noses, and even do poos inside them. It was brilliant. Plus, it took Gabby's and my minds completely off chocolate for a while. It was when we went downstairs to play a trick on Mum that I started thinking about chocolate again. Pickle and Pops love Easter eggs, I said, walking into the kitchen with Gabby and taking my mum completely by surprise. The bigger the Easter eggs, the more they like them. The trouble with playing tricks on your mum is you shouldn't really do it when she's holding a bag of flour, especially if the bag is open at the top. The moment I made her think I'd been feeding Pickle and Pops actual chocolate, she went all stiff and dropped the bag of flour on the floor. The trouble with dropping a bag of flour on the floor is it kind of explodes like a big white floury bomb. You haven't been feeding chocolate to Pickle and Pops? Please tell me you haven't been feeding chocolate to Pickle and Pops. I expressly told you not to give chocolate to those hamsters. In fact, I forbade you from giving chocolate to those hamsters. Please, 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 tell me you haven't been feeding chocolate to Pickle and Pops. We haven't been feeding chocolate to Pickle and Pops, I grinned. We've only given them the boxes. Tricked you. The trouble with telling your mum she's been tricked is if she's dropped a big floury bomb that covered her shoes and her legs and the kitchen floor and the kitchen cupboard, she might not see the funny side. In fact, she definitely won't. Which is why I changed the subject straight away. I've decided I want to go to Chocolate Land tomorrow instead of Mrs. Pike's Easter egg hunt, I told her. Trouble is, I wasn't sure if she was listening. The trouble with not knowing if someone is listening is you really need them to go. Yes, Daisy. Good idea, Daisy. We'll go to Chocolate Land tomorrow then, Daisy. But Mum didn't say anything or do anything. She just stayed stiff and sort of starey and a bit scary. The trouble with Mum going stiff, starey and scary is I thought she might be dead. Her eyeballs weren't moving. Even her blinks weren't blinking. When she finally did move, all she actually did was look down at her feet. That's when Gabby decided it was time for her to go home. Have a great time at Chocolate Land, she whispered. And thanks for sharing your Easter egg with me. Which meant I was going to be left alone with my mum. Can I go play at Gabby's? I asked, hoping that Mum still wasn't listening and that I could just run out of the house. No, you can't, she growled. You've got some clearing up to do. Chapter 10. The trouble with having clearing up to do is I don't see why I should have had to do it. I mean, it was Mum who dropped the flour on the floor, not me. Good job I did clear it up though, because I'm not sure she would have taken me to Chocolate Land at all if I hadn't. Once she had changed her trousers and swept up all the flour bits I had missed. Her stiffness actually began to unstiffen. Are you sure you don't want to go to Mrs. Pike's Easter egg hunt tomorrow, Daisy? She said. I'm baking a Victoria sponge for a picnic in her garden afterwards. The trouble with Victoria sponges is they're not made of chocolate. I definitely want to go to Chocolate Land tomorrow, I said. There'll be hot cross buns as well, she said. The trouble with hot cross buns is they're not made of chocolate. I definitely want to go to Chocolate Land tomorrow, I said. There'll be sandwiches and fizzy drinks, she said. The trouble with sandwiches and fizzy drinks is they're not made of chocolate. I thought you said it was up to me, I said. It is up to you, she said. Then I definitely want to go to Chocolate Land tomorrow, please, I said. Definitely? Asked Mum. Definitely, I told her. Then it's decided, said Mum. We will be getting up early and going to Chocolate Land tomorrow. But before we do, I think the polite thing to do would be to thank Mrs. Pike for inviting you to her Easter egg hunt and let her know why you won't be able to come. The trouble with polite things to do is they can be a real nuisance, especially when you don't want to do them. Can't you tell her? I asked. She's your friend, not mine. Of course she's your friend, Daisy, said Mum. She wouldn't be inviting you to her Easter egg hunt if she wasn't your friend. What if she gets cross? I asked. Of course she won't get cross, said Mum. What if she thinks I like Chocolate Land more than her back garden? I asked. I think most children would like Chocolate Land more than their neighbour's back garden, said Mum. What if? No more what ifs, Daisy, said Mum. If you want to go to Chocolate Land tomorrow, then please go and say, thank you, but no thank you, to Mrs. Pike. And while you're there, thank her for the free tickets she gave us as well. When I remembered the free tickets, I started to feel much better. If Mrs. Pike hadn't given them to us, we would never have been able to go to Chocolate Land in the first place. Which meant actually it was Mrs. Pike's fault that we weren't going to be going to her own Easter egg hunt. When we took the sponge cake to give to Mrs. Pike, she wasn't cross with me at all. She even gave me a free drink of squash. Daisy, I completely understand, she said. If I were your age, I would much rather go to Chocolate Land than a silly old egg hunt in my back garden. You'll love it at Chocolate Land. Which made me feel quite guilty. Most of the children coming will be far too young to be of interest to you, she said, which made me feel even guiltier. I'm just so grateful to your mum for making this lovely cake and for offering to help me make the sandwiches. I have so much to do. Which made me feel even guiltier still. Is there anything I can do to help? I said, hoping that there wouldn't be, but thinking I'd better say it anyway. Can you blow up balloons? She asked. Not really, I said. Can you use an electric knife? No, she can't, interrupted my mum. Let me think, said Mrs. Pike, buttering the last hot crust bun and then picking up her list of things to do. I know exactly what you can do for me, Daisy, she said, tapping her list with her finger. You can hide the Easter eggs for the egg hunt, she said. Would you like to do that, Daisy? It would save me so much time if you did. Your mum can help me make the sandwiches, and you can hide the eggs. What a super idea. I'll go and get them. The trouble with someone saying, I'll go and get them, is it gave me no choice. I had to hide the eggs for the egg hunt, whether I liked it or not. Here they are, Mrs. Pike said, coming back into the kitchen with the bag of mini egg seconds. When I saw how many mini egg seconds there were inside the bag, my eyes nearly popped out of my ears. There were zillions. Well, absolutely loads. Plus, they didn't look like mini egg seconds to me. They looked like mini egg firsts. There were so many eggs in the bag that if I wasn't quick, I'd still be in the garden hiding them when it was time for me to go to bed. I'd be hiding them in the dark. I'd be hiding them with a torch. And as if that wasn't bad enough, they would all be for babies, not including Dylan. What a total waste of eggs, I thought, as I carried the bag into Mrs. Pike's back garden. What a total waste of chocolate. The sooner I go to Chocolate Land, the better. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel and click the bell button so you don't miss out on our next videos. Bye!